filter in who's going to come in. We're at the sewing machine today. That's all I'm doing this time around. Alrighty. I gotta test that the stitching is doing what it's supposed to. And then we'll get to sewing the school uniform for Beastars. Yep, that's doing a thing. Okay. And a thing we want. Nope. Firstly, I should probably do my intro. Okie pokey weirdos, I'm Rev, and welcome to my world of cosplay shenaniganery. Today we are sewing a Beastars school uniform. Firstly, I need to adjust this tie. I made this tie for Castiel from Supernatural, and I did wear it, but this fabric is so thick and chunky that it just made him look extra disheveled, and I cannot look disheveled cosplaying as Lewis, so I have to take in these stitches. Also, this corner, these corners here, don't actually line up, so I need to make these line up. That will also help with slimming down the tie so it's not as buff. I should actually get a piece of chalk and put a straight line across so that I can see where that is actually supposed to hit. Right there. Right there. And then, with this line here, I know exactly where to slim the tie down. So I shall get to it. It's nearly exactly the presser foot distance, so I'm just going to use that as my guide. Up until we get to the really skinny part of the tie. And then I'll just cut it off there. And that's where the tie thins out, so we're going to lean into that and end it. Hopefully this tie won't be slightly crooked anymore that way as well. Oh, what am I doing? I want the fabric scissors to cut away that excess fabric. Thank you all. Get some of the bulk out of here. Voila! Next would be to flip this tie right sides out, but that isn't as interesting to watch. So I'm going to bring the next sewing thing up. And that is the blue vest. Oh my gosh, my sewing scissors won't stop wobbling. Alright. I have 1, 2, 3 types of pieces for the vest. This is the back, this is left side, this is right side for the front. All of these each have their own lining piece made out of a pillowcase, and the dark blue that is the facing is actually thrifted fabric that I borrowed from my mother. She decided she didn't, even though she had thrifted it, she decided she didn't want it anymore, so I snagged it. Because I knew I would make some pretty good things out of navy blue. There's plenty of options with navy blue for various characters. So I am going to sew all of the lining together and sew all of the facing together, and then pillowcase method them together so that all of my stitching is on the inside. Have you noticed that's my favorite method? That's what I did with the ties as well. I have another tie coming up here, but we're going to do the vest first. I probably won't worry about the vest buttons just yet. At least not for this live stream, because that's going to take some fiddling and figuring out. Okay, the pillowcase fabric is very wispy. This pillowcase is actually left over from me making a commission. So this is another thing that I've been reusing scraps from. Going through my stash as much as I can. Okay, there's not enough room on my desk and I'm not moving the sewing machine. I'm going to pin this thing on the floor real quick and then sew everybody together. Hang on. We're getting somewhere. Yeah, that's the direction. That's the right direction. We are flipping things that way. There we go. I don't have a whole lot of pins right now because I have my pins sitting in another project at the moment that needs to be sewn as well. Everything's just waiting on me now because I was sick for 2 weeks. I have to catch up on everything now. All right. Vest pinned for the initial get to getting. All right. Get side seams. That's where the armpit meets. And we sew down the side. I'm going to be a little less chatty in this video now because I need to focus, but also because I'm still getting over being sick, so I don't want to completely lose my voice. Seam number 1 for the lining. Armpit corner number 2. All right, side seam number 2. Double check that I caught everything that needs to be caught and I didn't catch anything that doesn't. Believe so. Okay. Time to connect the shoulder pieces. And then I'm going to test the fit of it before I sew this. Because I likely need to take down some of the fabric right around the armpit. I left excess there just in case. Okay, test fit. Yeah, I need to whittle down the armpits just a little bit before I sew that. Because once I take out that extra fabric in the armpits, it'll give more room for my chest. Because that's really tight across the chest right now. Which means I'll have to copy and do the same on the other layer of fabric once I get to it. Snippy, snippy. I'm cutting about a 1/4 of an inch out of the armpit curves. Scraps. And the second curve. Oh my. Again, cutting out about a 1/4 of an inch out of this curve to give myself some more room to move. Oh my gosh, this fabric is so finicky. It keeps running away from the scissors. It's very slinky. And then my scraps go in the Mandalorian Grogu cup to save for stuffing. And I will pin the shoulders again and see about the fit. And another test fit. What is going on? It's all twisted and not letting me get the other armhole. Because this pillowcase fabric is not cooperative. Alright, doing the armpit holes a little bit bigger definitely made a serious difference. Okay, nice. Good deal. And this vest, once I get the second layer, the facing layer sewn, it will be a little tight on me, but I plan to wear my binder for these cosplays, so it should fit correctly once I get the binder on. And for anybody wondering, these thread scraps, the tails that I cut off, they also go in the Grogu Mandalorian cup to go with the stuffing. I actually really like having stuffing that's scraps of things that I made, because then I can be like, oh, Fizzarelli's hiding in here somewhere. And then we have some excess from the shoulder for the back of the neck, so that tells me how deep I need to cut into the back of the neck to smooth it out. And it's about the same amount excess on the other side of the shoulder as well. Lining sewn. Time for the facing. Again, I gotta pin this on the floor because I can't see what I'm doing on the desk right there. So now you can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, find all the pieces with the chalk outlines. And make sure those are on the inside of the costume. I hate when I put the chalk outlines on the outside of the costume. Because with most fabrics I get, I purposely buy them so that it doesn't matter which direction they face, they're all about the same. Almost there. So the few pins I have left for this project are just not very sharp. And this fabric is really thick. You can even see in the chalk outline here for the armpits where I had the excess, and that is about 1/4 of an inch there. So I will have to cut that off, but I will do that after I get the sides sewn so that I can do it all in one go. I just ran out of bobbin. Nice. I don't think I have another black bobbin made either. So we might just hang out while I make another black bobbin. I found one. I usually take the time to make bobbins. I just sit for like an hour and make a whole bunch of black, white, and red bobbins because those are the colors I use the most. But I need to do that again, apparently. Especially for the black. I have a couple more white still left. And because I'm rethreading the machine, I'm going to have to do a tester fabric because she gets grumpy when I rethread her. Isn't that right, Bernina? Oh, good girl. Okay. You were able to handle that rethreading. We love when that happens. I chunked the vest somewhere. And it's a twisty mess now. Hello. Did I actually finish that side? Yes, I did. Okay. I managed to finish that side before running out of bobbin. Love when that happens. Armpit number 2. And I am making this back stitch a little bit longer than you normally would because I know I'm cutting away that chunk. But I want to make sure that I cut that chunk away evenly from both the front and back, so it's easier to do it once they're sewn together. Ooh, something made a thump noise. Who's thumping? We don't like that. Weird noises. Did we get any weird stitches? It sounded like it was making weird noises. It doesn't look like we skipped any stitches. Okay. Now, to cut away the excess armpit fabric. I am going to go to the floor for this real quick, so I will be right back. And thank you for that next person. Let's see. Yeah, we have another person hanging out in the views. Thank you for hanging out. We can chill and do crafty stuff together. Let me get this excess fabric away from the armpit so that it's not too tight around my arms when I wear a dress shirt under this thing. One sliver. Extra chunk. Hang on, I almost got it. Almost there. Are we there yet? Alright. More slivers. And now we can sew the shoulder seams without the excess fabric. Shoulder seam. And that little bit of excess that we had on the lining, we have right here as well, so I can see how deep I need to cut that neckline. We need to go this way. The fabric doesn't want to go that way because it's heavy. I'm going to be so warm in this vest. Hey boy. And the other shoulder seam. Okay, test fit, and then I should be able to pillowcase method the lining and the facing together. And have a vest. Heck yeah. Okay, where'd that lining go? First, before attaching them together, I need to cut down the neckline in the back, because we can see that excess standing out over. You can see it really easily on this side, especially with the fabric fraying there. But all the pieces have that excess. I also need to chop away the inside excess of the lining so that seam isn't as thick, because this vest is going to be hot enough without that issue. Alrighty. I am actually going to scooch the machine over for this part so y'all can see what I'm doing. I need something to keep this fabric from running away. Banking shears. And something for this side. Pair of cheap scissors. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do a chalk outline. Give myself a guide of where this neckline... Oh, you can't even see it. Ah! Can you see it now? Alright, neckline. Get a nice curve in there. Again, it's about 1/4 of an inch, because that's what I always automatically put in all of my pieces. An extra 1/4 of an inch of fabric for seam allowance, just in case. Okay, And then we'll do it on the facing. Because it's got the same thing going on. Shoulders have it lined up. Yep. And chalk. And find where the neckline is actually supposed to start and meet them in the middle. Okie dokie. Now I need to pin these two together. It might have been easier to do that before I did the shoulder seams. I might have to seam rip those. Good job, me. I'm going to see if I can get them together. Well, do I seam rip the shoulder seams now? That is the question. But I had to make sure that the armpits were fitting too, so it's kind of necessary to get the shoulders in there. Do I redo the shoulders? Let's see how easily this pins. Ah, I found more pins. Ha, I have more. Yes. I was just using my bob pin cushion and thinking I didn't have too many left. Alrighty. These seams are supposed to meet together, but we got to do it inside out to flip it right sides out the other way. First I need to cut off the excess bulk right here. You see how the fabric kind of runs away from the scissors? It's very slinky. I have less issue with velvet. Frickin' 100% polyester. And the other side. Okay, let's see if I can pin these together while the shoulder seams are still sewn. It would be nice if I didn't have to change that seam rip anything, please. I don't want to seam rip anything. I'm going to leave the bottom of the vest open for flipping right sides out. And probably not even the whole bottom of the vest, maybe the bottom center. Oop, that needs to go this way. Right sides together. Seams aligned. Ooh, that's a very long one. I wasn't going for a very long one. Let's go a short one. A short one that's not very sharp. Yeah, that one's going in the trash. It's broken. Here's a little stump where there should be a point. There we go. Hopefully it'll do that all the way around for me, please. Yeah, I really should pick the seams for the shoulders. Otherwise, I'm going to give myself more work the other direction, and I'd rather not. Picking the shoulder seams. I have to be really careful with picking the seams on the pillowcase because this pillowcase, when there's raw edges, it just likes to shred incessantly. The dark blue fabric hardly frays. The pillowcase, on the other hand, does not know how to behave itself. There's one shoulder seam. Oh, it's so hard to see the thread on the extra dark blue fabric. Can I may I have my shoulder seam? Let go, please. There we go. Okay, we'll use that for now while it's open. Right sides together. Now we can more easily get into this armpit for this seam instead of finagling my way around. Work smarter, not harder. Ooh. The lining still has more armpit to it than the facing, so I gotta trim that away before flipping it right sides out. Okay, go the other direction around the armpit. And I'm not trying to make this fancy, I'm going as quick as possible because it's just supposed to be a closet cosplay for the most part. I just didn't have the blue vest, but knew I had the fabric. So it's kind of like a stash cosplay rather than a closet cosplay. Make my way around the neckline, and then I gotta seam rip the other two shoulders. I gotta trim down the neckline again on the lining, as well as the armpits. The lining just had a little more excess, I guess. Seam ripper. Remove shoulder seam. And the other shoulder seam. Yeah.
I'm cleaning the shower, but I didn't realize the cleaner I'm using has perfume in it, so you might want to turn your air filter on.
Oh, okay. Thank you. My brother looking out for me. Don't know if you heard that, but he's using a cleaner that I'm allergic to, so he's making sure I do not suffocate. I'm almost done with the shoulder, and then I can get back to pinning. If the pillowcase fabric would let go. Yeah, almost. Almost. We're getting there. Aha! Okay. Continue pinning. And then I can easily sew all the way around this border without dealing with the shoulder seams until after I have all that stitched, which would be preferable. And then pin around the outside. Okay. And the other side. I just lightly pin this side. I need to properly pin it. Gotta get everything laying flat before I can pin it. Okay. And let's see, how far along the bottom do I want to leave open? Close it in just a little bit more. There. From here to here, I'll leave open to flip it right sides out. Sewing machine. And actually I need to sew it with the dark blue where I can see it, so that I follow that line and not the pillowcase, because the pillowcase is a little off center because of how wonky the fabric is. And I need a solid back stitch on that spot so that I can flip it right sides out without it giving me issue. Very carefully over this seam. I'm actually going to cut out the excess. I should have done that earlier. Little less bulk. Okay, it made it right over that bulk. Time to turn a corner. Can we make it? And down and swivel and go again. Coming up on another corner. And needle down and swivel. Yeah, I wish that the notifications for YouTube would work better. I keep having that issue myself with creators that I like to watch, as well as with my own content, and knowing that my viewers aren't getting notified. It drives me bananas. I am going to put a back stitch there so I don't lose my spot. If anything starts unraveling, I know there's extra back stitches here and there throughout. Gotta love these rounded armpit edges. Pins. And that I'd put the pins on the other side of the fabric. Let's just make everything more difficult. Cut away the excess here. Needle down and swivel. And a quick straight line. And oh, one more. Needle down. Actually, I'm going to do a back stitch right there. Just in case, because it was also really close to the edge of the fabric. I think I ran out of bobbin again. I don't think I have another black bobbin at this point. That's green. Oh, lucky me. I gotta remember to refill all my bobbins after this, because I think this might be my last black bobbin. I keep finding more, keep lucking out on that, but eventually I need to make more. And this is also why I do the back stitches more often throughout the project. Because then I'm not losing as much work if something unravels because I ran out of bobbin. Can we keep going and everything be cool? We cool? I think we're cool. getting to the last half of this thing. Cut away excess. Boop. Oh, I've got more friends in. I think they finally notified everybody, huh? Got more people in the live stream. Look at that. YouTube needs to get better about notifying everybody. Jeez. Because the vest here is almost done for what I'm going to do with the live stream. I still got to do the buttons, but that's something I'm going to do off camera at first, and then film on my vlogging camera once I've figured out what I want to do with those. Because the vest I was using as the mock-up for this has 6 buttonholes, and the Beastars vest has 5. So I want to adjust it for 5 buttonholes. One more swivel. I'm gonna backstitch on that. Reinforce that corner. You can see how much excess we had on the lining on that side. Oops. Oh, I managed to miss that pin. That was almost a problem. And the last straight line on here, I might close off where I'm going to flip it right sides out just a little more than what I have it at, because it's a really big hole at the moment, and I don't really want to fight with that. I'd rather it be a bit smaller. Cut the excess off of that one. Yeah, I'm going to make that hole a little smaller. Just big enough for me to get my hand through will be fine. Let's see. Hand width. Up to there. A little more. And a back stitch. And a forward. Alrighty then. I'm gonna finish cutting off the excess here and then flip this thing and see how it turned out. Slide the sewing machine over. Okay, how did I slide it over last time and not have the cord problem? Come on, cord. Okay. Excess removal. And the other side. Oop, where'd it go? I had it. There's not as much excess on this one. Getcha. Okay. I don't think I'm going to worry about chopping off any other excess yet. I want to flip it and see how it looks first. Show. Snip. And we flip. This is the bottom of the vest. Let's see, where is that mock-up vest? This is a vest I regularly wear. I usually wear it for Grell because you have the red and black. And I thrifted this thing. But this is the bottom tail end of the vest. And this is the bottom tail end of the blue one. And I'm going to flip it from the tail and pull everything right sides out. And then when I flip it, this excess here will fold over on itself and I can do a top stitch along the bottom like we have the top stitch on this one. I'm doing some things right. Other things I'm doing my way. Let's flip this guy. Aw, it was almost a blessed seam. I was so close. No. It's about a centimeter off. I don't know about vests being the bane of my existence, but invisible zippers most definitely are. Oh my gosh, the dog hair. This dark blue fabric also really grabs onto dog hair. Love that for me. Especially since I'm going to be wearing costumes that have fur. Oh yeah, another issue with sewing is threading the overlock serger. Here, I'll show you my serger. I have a baby serger because I wanted something that would fit on my desk better. And I don't use sergers all that often. So this is my serger. And I have to use tweezers to get up in there and thread it. Because I have to thread a whole bunch of things that are down in here and they're teeny tiny. This thing is only for surging emergencies. Okay, we're almost completely flipped out. Come on, rest of the way. Okay. It looks like it did the thing. I'm not seeing any gaps. This will need to be properly pressed before I'm willing to connect the shoulder seams. Let's see how close to the same size we got the shoulder seams by doing this. Yay, they match. Yay! So I'm going to leave this where it's at, and I have my next thing to sew. I pulled everything together to sew it all in a batch. And just keep live streaming. Next up is green. I have a green tie for Lewis. Technically, his button shirt is what's green. Whoa! But I do not have a green button shirt, and I could not find one that fit me at the thrift store. The only one they had was one that was, I think, a 2X men's, and I'm only 5 feet tall, so there was no way I was willing to alter that, because I would essentially have just been using it for fabric and remaking the shirt. But I knew I already had 4-screen fabric at home, so I might as well just use the fabric I had at home if I was completely refabricating a shirt. But I don't really want to make a whole new shirt for this, because it's mostly a closet cosplay. So what I am doing is a green tie instead of the shirt, and then switching the colors tie and shirt. So what is originally the black tie on the show is going to be a black shirt, green tie. That made only the tiniest bit of sense, I'm sure. I'm still ever so slightly sick, and my brain is not processing everything correctly, especially with getting words out of my mouth. And thread this green thread and sew another tie. And then I also have pants to sew, because the pants I did manage to thrift, but they're a little big for me, not so big that I'd have to just completely repurpose the fabric. So I'm just going to do some small alterations, like taking in the waist and bringing the cuffs up a little higher. But first, green tie. I need to do it the other direction so that I can go all the way around without stopping. I should pin the side that I know matches so that doesn't go anywhere. Okay. And I'm leaving this tail end open here. I should scooch the machine closer to the camera. There we go. I'm leaving this tail end open here for flipping right sides out. Again, I'm not doing the fancy way, the correct way to do a tie. Just doing the pillowcase method to get me a little accessory. Oh, she's not being nearly as picky about this fabric. The blue fabric was thick, huh, girly? She's chomping right through this fabric. And this green fabric I've had for years now. There was a commission that fell through multiple times. And it was for someone who was going to get a full green uniform made from JoJo, I believe. Except because they were a 4XL, I had a whole bunch of that fabric ready to go. But when the commission fell through 3 times, I finally said, nope, we're not doing this commission now. And the fabric has been mine for a while. And I've slowly been using it up. Because if you watch my Watermelon Witch video, I use a lot of this green fabric there. Otherwise, this green fabric gets used for little things like this tie, up until I run out. But I had like 12 yards, I think, so I still have plenty left at the moment. I should have another camera showing me how I've hunched over the machine and be like, I have no idea why I have back problems. Nope, not at all. I'm actually standing while I'm sewing, though. I like to stand so I can be over top the project instead of looking directly down at it from here. I like to be this way. And I definitely have to get this tie even. For Lewis as a mob boss, heck yeah, it's gotta be even. Actually, I'm gonna backstitch from here. and take this off and draw a straight line like I did with the blue tie, so I have a better guide as to if these corners match or not. And we go in a straight line all the way down. Could you stop with the puckering? Adjust. Less puckering, more sewing. Did that actually sew? Ooh, that is really close to not. So I'm going to backstitch that and then fix that little edge that I missed. There we go. Oh, I ran out of bobbin. No. No. Dang it. I was so close to finishing the tie without having to make a new bobbin. Since it's the tail of the tie, and most people are not going to see that, I think I'm just going to put black in here to finish it off instead of making a whole new green bobbin. Just get her done. Oh, I did miss a couple slots on this side as well, so I'm going to fill in those holes while I can see them. Right there. Could you not make an angry noise? Yeah, I feel that. Don't you do that. No. No. See, it doesn't like when I rethread the machine at times. Okay, Bobbin. What's your deal? I gotta put a pin in this spot so I don't lose where I know I have a hole. was 2. There were 2 spots. 2. Where are we? Where's the other one? Ah. But first, I gotta troubleshoot this bobbin. Why are you being grumpy? Hmm? What is up with the bobbin? Probably need to rethread the top thread too, just to give everybody a reset. Let everybody chill out. Top thread. Pop. Flip. Doodad. That doodad. Through the hole. Through the guide. Bring the bobbin back up. Tester piece. Oh, you gonna be chill now? Okay. Just wanted me to rethread everything because you're picky like that. Let's finish this green tie. Alright, I had my slots where I missed some stitching. Start here and work my way back down. Alright, that's that chunk. May I finish this tie now without you having a heart attack? Hopefully the machine will agree with me on this, that we should finish this tie now. Because I have less, probably just about a foot of this length left. Hey, tie done. Yay! I would need to flip it right sides out and double check that everything is even, but I am not going to take the time to do that on the live stream. For now, it is time to alter the pants. Allow me to go fetch the trousers. These are absolutely massive on me. I think I have to take in 2 inches on either side of the waistband and about 3 inches to go up on the cuff. I am going to take a quick bathroom break before I get started on this, so I will be right back, everybody. Where is he? Please enjoy looking at Bob. Can you see him? Chat with Bob while I'm gone. Alright, I have returned, and I changed into some leggings so that I can try these pants on and off multiple times without having to remove my bottoms. And I love that your feather duster shares the same name as my pincushion. Alright, I gotta try these pants on and see how much I'm taking in at the side. Oh, I will also need to rethread my machine once again with my gray thread. Okay, how much excess do we got on these pants? Gonna mark them with chalk. I got a mirror over here that I'm looking at so I can see exactly where everything's hitting on me. goes for you. Okay. And for leg length. Yeah. Okay, there is a lot more than 3 inches that I need to take these pants up. I just marked a little longer than I actually want them to be. Where is it? Did I mark it on the other pant leg? There it is. I just marked how way too long these pant legs are. That. Let's get a measurement on that. That is 7 inches. And this is me leaving the pant legs a little long so that they can cover the tops of my shoes. Oh my goodness. I am a short human. And hang on, my dry skin is causing my hands to crack. And so that we avoid body horror on my channel, we got miraculous ladybug band-aids. Or not. Give me my band-aid. Who do we have? Ah, Marinette and Adrian. I was hoping for Kwame, but I think I've used most of the Kwame band-aids already. No more bleeding. Okay. Oh, gray thread. Let's not sew this with green thread. Gray thread. This one. And I already have a bobbin made as well, so thankfully I do not use black for this. And once I finish the pants, I need to move on to airbrushing Legoshi's ears and tail. I am planning to do a makeup test for him tomorrow for Valentine's Day, since he's our adorable little lover boy. And I want to see about getting the ears and tail at least mostly airbrushed the right color for the photo shoot, although I don't think I'm going to have time to style the wig properly before the Valentine's Day makeup test. Oh my goodness, this thread does not want to cut. Through the hole, through the hole. Okay. The funny thing is, when I took in Castiel's black trousers, I had to take in the waist about the same amount, but the pant legs were fine. I don't know how these pant legs can be so much longer. Firstly, flip them inside out. Also, I love guys' pants. Look at how big these pockets are. Pockets you can actually fit your phone in. What a concept. Okay, I marked There we go. Can I mark the other side too? Where are you? Where are you? Where's that seam? I found that seam on this side. There you are, you little stinker. Seam this. My machine might make a grumpy noise. This is a lot of material. Okay, hopefully that brings the waist in enough. Normally, when I alter thrift store clothes, I just leave the excess in the clothing like this, so when I send them back to the thrift store, I can just seam rip them. But for these pant legs with 7 inches, I think I might have to cut off some excess. Pants. 7 inches. Holy guacamole. 7 inches. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut this off. It is too much. That's for somebody with very, very long legs, who is not me. And then stitch the cuff. Start as close to the seam as possible. Oh, it says no. It says it's thick. I don't like it. There's a lot of material here. Hand crank it through past the thick parts. Come on. You can do it. And we go. other pant leg. Seven inches. And we chop off a chunk. And we make a cuff. Yeah, more. Everybody scoochy. Just scooch down a tiny bit. Come on. Is that aligned? I think so. It won't be the worst thing if these aren't even because I'm wearing them for short form content. So for the majority of the time, you'll be seeing my bust and not so much the pants. But I think at some point I will properly adjust these pants to line up correctly when I need them for full body situations. Because I'm not putting the purple stripe for the school uniform on these pants. I want them to be of more use than just for Beastars characters. So I am just leaving them plain gray. But I think that will be enough to get the point across for Beastars characters. All right, moment of truth. Time to try on these pants and hope I didn't cut too much off of the bottoms. Let's see how these fit. Got my mirror. I will need to iron the new pant cuffs because they're not laying flat yet. Well, it's going to be a holly jolly Christmas, everybody. The pants fit. And I think I actually got the cuffs even just by mostly eyeballing it, aside from that 7-inch check. I might want to take the pants in a little bit more, but I'm also going to be wearing suspenders for Legoshi with these. So the suspenders would also help keep them up, so it doesn't necessarily need to be adjusted. I think we're in good shape. So this is how much I took in the waist on both sides. And this is how the cuffs look now. And I think, yep, that is everything I brought out for sewing for this live stream. So I have finished all of the actual sewing. Show of hands if you'd like me to stick around and just flip everything right side out on the live stream. Because, let's see, I got 10 more minutes before I need to go anywhere. So I can hang out for 10 more minutes and maybe get that green tie flipped the right way out. excuse me while I trip over my supernatural props. Cord. Let's untangle this cord from my stand that's holding the camera. There we go. And sewing machine actually lives under my desk. There we go. The lighting is not the greatest because the sun has moved, but I don't think I'm going to take the time to set up the ring light because 10 minutes. We'll start flipping this tie right sides out and see if it's even. And I'm gonna sit for this. I've been standing for 3 hours, I think, and my body's not used to that anymore. I used to work in retail and stand for 8 hours, and my body said, no, I don't like that. We don't do that. Not no more. No more. Moments like these, I really, really wish I had a loop turner. I do have a knitting needle. I think my fingers are doing better than the knitting needle, honestly. I do need the knitting needle for that part. It's gotten stuck. Hello. You can tell my desk is, well, technically my house is slightly slanted. Whoop. Well, I just did that backwards. I don't know if a loop turner would have been super helpful with this thing, though. It's really long and an odd shape for a loop turner to handle. 3 more minutes. Oh, I found a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole. I have to flip it back the other direction and take care of this freaking hole. But I need to continue flipping it so that I can find any other holes as well. Okay. Put a pin in the hole so I don't lose where that hole is hiding. I might be able to just hand stitch a ladder stitch in that hole, depending on what the other holes look like, so that I don't have to flip it inside out again, like I did with the blue tie, which was a pain in the behind. Do we have any more holes in this snake? Is it a tie or a snake? You decide. Alright, it's starting to get finicky because the really thick part of the tie is coming into the thin part of the tie. And it takes more force. I could have also used the yarn method with sewing yarn into one end to flip it out the other direction. Might not necessarily have worked with this, though. Ooh, my pen to mark where the hole is trying to run away. Okay, that is time for me to go. So I greatly appreciate everybody who popped in and said hi. I also appreciate everybody who watches this live stream after the fact and has watched it all the way to the end. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope to get these Beastars cosplays together soon. So subscribe if you'd like to see them finished. And welcome to the madness. Bye!